Champions, the fourth question is a very, very important one, and 99% of the time it will have an answer. The question is, which of my pieces can be happier? Or in other words, which of my pieces could be placed better? My friend, you don't win the game, your pieces win it. So you want to bring them to good places, where they are happy and effective. And when they will be happy, believe me, you will be happy too about your position. Let's see some examples. It's white to move. How would you continue? Please pause the video and think. Okay, let's talk to our pieces. Dear Queen, where would you like to be? Maybe on g4. Okay. Dear Rooks, what about you? I think there are this f upon file. He would love to be doubled on f file, rook f2, rook f1. Okay. Knight, what about you? I'm not sure. Maybe on d5, but I don't know how to get there. The way to get there is through e3, c3, or f4. But I cannot do that, because these pawns are taking care of these squares. So maybe you skip me for now and talk to the other minor piece, bishop on c2. Hey, bishop c2, where would you want to be? I think I'm very passive here. These pawns are limiting me. I want to be somewhere. Okay, I understand. Bishop, where do you want to be? I want to be on d5. Can you get me there? Let me see, bishop. Oh, bishop, I can get you there. I can play your bishop a4 with tempo here. Then bishop c6 with tempo here. And I will get to d5. Yeah, bishop screams. And here we go. Bishop a4 attacking the rook. Bishop c6 attacking the rook. Bishop d5. Check. Now the bishop is very happy. Now we can fix about other pieces. Maybe rook f2, rook f1 makes sense. Or there is an interesting move to play here, h4. With the idea next to play knight g5. Then knight e6, or maybe knight f7, exchange the knight so the rook will enter to f7, or queen h5 attacking the king. If black plays here h6, not allowing us to play knight g5, what can you do? Okay, if you notice this tactic, great job, we can play knight g5. Still, because black cannot take the knight. There's this mating pattern when the bishop covers the g8 square, and we give a check with the h file. So queen h5, and it's a mate. Beautiful example, isn't it? Bishop came to d5 with tempos, and then h4, then knight g5, queen h5, the rooks will enter with the f file, and so on. So in this section I will offer you a few more positions, and I will ask you to pause the video and talk to your pieces and see where do you want to take them, where they will be happier. It's white to move. How would you continue? Please pause the video and think. Okay, let's talk to our pieces. Dear Queen, where do you want to be? I'm not sure. Rooks? We are okay here. We are pressuring on this e6 pawn, but there is this bishop on f7 which defends it. Okay, Knight, what about you? I am not very happy here. There is this b6 pawn, and it doesn't allow us to go knight c5 and attack the pawn, so I don't know what to do. Okay, Knight, what if we transfer you somewhere else? Where would you like to be? There is this e5 weak square. I want to be there. Okay, Knight, easily. Let's go. Knight c1, then knight d3, then knight e5. Knight, are you happy?
Yes, very happy.
Next, what we can do? We can actually attack the king, because this bishop on f7 is so passive, limited with its own pawn, so actually, practically, kind of we are piece up. We can organize rook g2, g4, or h3, g4. We can bring the queen to h4, trying to go using opponent's weak dark squares, and so on. It's white to play. How would you continue? You can pause the video and talk to your pieces. Alright, let's start with the strongest piece. Queen, where do you want to be? Not sure. Okay, rooks? Oh, it's very obvious for us. There is this D open file, so we want to be on D files. So you want to play rook d2, rook d1, or rook f2, rook d2? Yes, the rook answered. Okay, let's talk to all the pieces. Bishop on h2. What about you?
Oh, you know, I think I'm very sad here. I'm limited with this f4 pawn. It's also limited with this diagonal, so I don't know what to do. Oh, but you know, I know what to do. What if I was in this long diagonal? Black king would be very weak, so I have these light squares, so we can never be exchanged. So if I will be on this diagonal, I'm going to dominate the position, and we will create lots of problems for the king.
Okay, so rooks, you want to be on the d file, and there is this bishop on h2 which also wants to be happy. What do you think? From where do we start? And now you can discuss, negotiate with your pieces. You might notice that if you start with the rooks, for example rook d2, bishop c6, rook d1, okay, then you cannot enter to 7th rank and you cannot enter to the 8th rank. And also the rook on d2 blocks the bishop's way, bishop g3, bishop e1, it cannot go to c3. That's why it makes lots of sense to start with the bishop. You play bishop g3, bishop e1, next bishop c3, and this king will be very weak. In the future, you can even create a battery. Bishop b2, queen c3, when the bishop stays backward and the queen in front of it, this is called battery, and you want to play queen h8 mate. So black is going to suffer a lot with this diagonal. If somehow they defend against the mate, then you can double the rooks as well, and then all your pieces will be happy. Let's go to the next example.